As you could probably tell from the video title, this is gonna be a long one. I haven't really done content like this before, so if you like it, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and that way I can know to make more content like this going forward. Also, feel free to give this video a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I don't make money from this platform, so, you know, feel free to give me a nod and let me know that you're appreciating it, and I will continue rolling out as much as I can going forward into the Eurovision season. Now let's get into it. Eurovision last year finished at number 10 in the top 15 celebrity flops and fails of 2024 by the BBC, and the 2025 season is shaping up to be no different. So far this season, we've already had at least one country withdraw, one Eurovision entry withdraw, 10 national final entries just disqualified, and 9 national final entries also withdraw. And it's only January. On top of that, there's been allegations of child grooming towards one contestant, and another has been alleged to have been involved in a drug trafficking scandal. But rest assured, everyone's favorite country, Israel, just selected the representative to this week, so that makes everything a lot more calm in the Eurovision bubble. At this point, the least controversial thing about this Eurovision season is this.
Serving cunt.
The sad thing is, we thought the Joost Klein disqualification was the end of, the Eurovision drama, but the Eurovision gods are cruel sick sons of bitches. Anyways, given that we're only still in January, I thought we should dive into the drama so far because Lord knows this is gonna be like part 1 of like an 85-part series. So let's start with the most recent drama, and that is Moldova withdrawing from Eurovision. And all of us Eurovision fans are literally like... The country decided to withdraw only a day after the televised auditions for their national final, and what makes it even worse is that they blamed it on the public's declining interest in Eurovision. Which makes absolutely no sense given the fact that they claim that they're already going to be back for Eurovision 2026. And they also said the lack of quality, quote, generated a negative perception towards Eurovision. Which also makes no sense given that this guy has been continuously selected for their national final audition process on a consistent basis with hits like this.
Just had sex with your ex.
And this.
I'm gonna get married to twins.
This.
My favorite school girl, I know that you love me, and you can hide your feelings inside you.
This.
My friend is gay, I think it's okay, there's no need to blame, no one is the same.
And this.
Now I don't remember which our kingdom.
So yeah, I sniff bullshit. It's become abundantly clear to me that the third reason for Moldova's withdrawal from Eurovision, financial issues, is the only truthful one. However, it seems that the broadcaster has conveniently sandwiched it in between the other 2 reasons to distract people from the blatant corruption that this reason exposes from the past. Let me explain. For the past 5 editions of Eurovision, Moldova has consistently and coincidentally been represented by a wealthy, well-funded Eurovision returnee, often who wins their national selection. Allegations of bribery and vote ringing by the broadcaster in these competitions to favor the wealthy contestants have surfaced, as Eurovision-related expenses in Moldova almost always fall on the artist to cover. Because in previous years, where this corruption of favoring only wealthy contestants wasn't necessarily present, there's been claims that the broadcaster couldn't even pay for basic accommodations, forcing their acts to sleep in the host country's Moldovan embassy. This financial burden explains why less funded, unknown candidates just never win Moldova's national final, no matter their talent or public support. This year, there was no wealthy returnee in the competition, and so the country withdrew, further exposing how this rigged system can crumble without any financial backing. Last year's outcome in the national final makes this alleged corruption even more apparent. Natalia Barbu, who represented Moldova in 2005 and is married, of course, to a Romanian billionaire, won the national final, securing 12 points from every single Moldovan jury member. Shocker. However, the public televote ranked Valeria first with Natalia second, creating a tie between the 2 overall. The national selection rules did not specify how a winner would be chosen in the event of a tie, leaving it completely open for the broadcaster to just decide who they wanted, and yes, leaving it open to, in my view, corruption.
Pauză.
Tabelul este oferit.
Unsurprisingly, they sided with the 5-member jury panel instead of the thousands of paying voters, just a massive slap in the face to the public by crowning Natalia Barbu as the winner. The smell of corruption is as potent as a vegan fart. So yeah, considering the lack of wealthy returnees to their national final this year, it makes it understandable why Moldova just said fuck this Peace out. It's worth noting that the favorites to win have now come out condemning the Moldovan broadcaster for publicly devaluing the work of each participant, calling it unacceptable. They also now say that their team received a sponsorship offer to provide financial assistance to cover all expenses related to Eurovision, and they say that they're ready to represent the country in the contest. So the ball is basically in the Moldovan broadcaster's court, and realistically, if they do accept this entry to represent them, it just further emphasizes the point that their first two reasons for withdrawing, lack of quality and lack of public interest, they're bullshit. And the only real reason is because they need wealthy or well-funded acts in order to participate. I want to make it abundantly clear that my disdain isn't targeted towards the country's inability to fund their participation, but more due to the fact that they hold what I believe to be a useless and rigged national final process on a yearly basis. They just waste contestants' time, energy, money, resources, and they should just opt for an internal selection if they absolutely require someone with wealth in order to compete. Moving on, let's talk about the most notable disqualifications and song withdrawals of the season so far. There's so many to cover that let's just focus on what I believe to be, in my view, the three most notable. Most of the disqualifications relate to the song being published before September 1st of 2024, as Eurovision rules clearly state that any song published or performed prior are not eligible to compete. But side note, something that I find so annoying about this rule is it is literally always broken by the EBU when they continuously admit songs that fail to comply with that rule. Jamala's 1944, Aiko's Pedestal, I believe Alma's Requiem, the list goes on and on. It's just like, why have a rule if it's never gonna be enforced? But this year, the rule most notably plagued the act that ended up winning Montenegro's national final and their entry clickbait. Because there were videos of them performing their act not even in 2024, but in 2023. They ended up releasing a statement withdrawing before there was even enough time to be disqualified. Kind of like, I'm gonna break up with you before you break up with me kind of deal. And that was the first national final this season. Already off to a start as shaky as this guy's vocals.
Just do it for your lover.
Never gets old. Next up, it's one of the fan favorites from Finland's national final, UMK, not only withdrawing, but also disbanding. And that's One Morning Left with their song Puppy. The band has come out and said serious anonymous allegations have been made on social media against a member of our band. According to these allegations, Mika exchanged messages with a possibly underage person, either knowingly or unknowingly. These allegations have come to a complete surprise to the band members, UMK, YLE, and other entries and companies working with the band. They go on to say that other members of the band, including Levi, Yuso, Miska, and Dennis, sorry if I butchered those names, they have immediately left the band and have expressed their deep shock regarding these allegations. Child grooming allegations are obviously very serious, and it's worth noting that the singer denies these allegations and is prepared to file a criminal complaint for false claims. When shit is this serious and I don't know enough about it, I honestly just can't comment much more about that, so that's that. Eurovision fans who speak confidently on the Israeli-Palestinian crisis as if they're geopolitical experts on the matter on either side of the spectrum when they can't even locate the region on a map should take note. And finally, the last withdrawal I think comes from an act that I believe has enough talent to win Eurovision one day. So for me, it's the most devastating, and it's Angelina Jordan from Norway who sadly had to exit MGP. This girl was on America's Got Talent. She has a video with over 100 million views from her audition. She is so young, yet she has such a strong sense of self.
Sometimes I wish I'd never been born at all.
But she lives in LA now, and sadly, due to the wildfires, she has decided to back out. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, it's Israel. The country has selected their representative this week, and they've chosen Yuval Raphael, who is an October 7th survivor. She hid inside of a death shelter with 50 other people on that day. She was one of, I believe, 11 survivors, and she sustained shrapnel injuries after Hamas threw grenades into the shelter.
אני עוד חיה, יש לי גופה ומלא רגליים שנשענות לי על הרגל כבר.
She also survived by playing dead and hiding under dead bodies for 8 hours.
תהיי מתה, תנתקי את הטלפון ממני, תהיי מתה.
And of course, Twitter, and it has unraveled essentially with comments like this from even Eurovision content creators. Congratulations. In the comfort of your home in Western civilization, you have freed Palestine with your highly constructive commentary that is certainly not going to contribute to exacerbating tensions towards two groups of people that already fucking hate each other. Such a strong ally for peace. There's also hundreds like this too. Initially, I was doubtful that people would actually boo her at Eurovision, given that she is a survivor of one of the most heinous terrorist attacks in the 21st century. But once again, I lose faith in the fandom and in humanity. And I want to note, listen, exposing hatred on one side is what people always do to dehumanize the other side. And I want to make it abundantly clear that pro-Israelis also engage in this bullshit too. So we're not for. We know this. This is what happens. There are people online who are claiming that Israel voted for her to represent them to use as propaganda, which could hold validity. But if they actually also watched the national final too, they would know that she was objectively one of the stronger singers. So it's hard to say. What will not fly with me is Israel attempting to send a song about October 7th in clear violation of the EBU rules to ensure that all entries are apolitical. Once again, the EBU has done a terrible job of enforcing this rule, allowing songs with historical narratives and lyrics like, when strangers are coming, they come to your house, they kill you all and say we're not guilty. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, if Israel comes with like another October rain, I say no revision, immediate disqualification. It just adds to the drama. We don't want this. It adds to the unrest this season. The Israeli broadcaster knows this, so no. So yeah, that covers some of the drama so far this season. Anyways, if you want to see more long-form content like this as opposed to just reaction videos, which is what I typically do, feel free to let me know once again in the comments. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bells. I would really, really appreciate it. And I think that's pretty much it. If you haven't heard Storm Chaser in Iceland's national final, another shameless plug. I wrote that song and I'm very proud of it, so let me know your thoughts about that as well.
I'm a storm chaser.
And I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.